You see, we so damn corrupt, that is the problem. But then them thief you ignore, so now you're working. And for your children's sake, man, you were joking. The future, God bless them, look in the school bag. Future knife, future gun, future jail yard. Future pay for you, your wife or your mama. But before you give a brother, just remember, it's just another day in paradise. I tell you, look how this town dies. It's just another day in paradise. Oh, look how this town dies. Take your punch, and then you roll. That's the only way you get some control. Take your punch, and fire back, and then you roll. Oh, the only way you get some control. Hey! Take it down. Long ago, every mother and father wanted their children to be doctor or lawyer. So now we fall up with doctor and lawyer. Knife in the hand or a wig on the head, son. The new Greeks, the old leaders say, beat your box and then we break away. But that was then, but now it's peace we creating. A funny thing though, the era's relating. Cause when a gorgon shoot another gorgon, the doctor job is to stitch up the organ. The lawyer job is to keep him out of jail. Be back on the street, terror in your tail. Just another day in paradise. I tell you, look how this town nice. It's just another day in paradise. Oh, look how this town nice. Take your punch, and then roll. That's the only way you get some control. Take your punch, and fire back, and then roll. Oh, the only way you get some control, yeah. Oh, what did they get? Children, don't you be blue. Forgive us for killing the good in some of you. We bring you in the world just to mash up your mind. I tell you, so shouts the Lord of the swine. But in this land of the wandering soul, making yourself is the only way you control. In spite of this, your key to the light. Your fight gonna be alright, just hold tight. The cable on the cable, the Nike psychology egg. Them are better than we. They're real intent to let them break down your bench. Believe in yourself and the chant going to make sense. Oh yeah, just another day in paradise. I tell you, look how this town dies. It's just another day in paradise. Oh, look how this town dies. Take your punch, and then roll. That's the only way you get some control. Take your punch, and fire back, and then roll. And the only way you get some control. Look how this town nice. It's just another day in paradise. Look how this town nice. It's just another day in paradise. We start early and we're using the B-Mobile Wi-Fi alone to see what that gives you tonight. So share the video. I want to see what the numbers like, and I want to see what the integrity of the broadcast is like. It's all a constant test to see where we're going. Share the video, please. Post it on your wall before you post it to any groups or any threads, so that everybody could know that we're here and we out and bad. Last night on this live video broadcast that we do, I spoke about Cocorite, hot like pepper, hot like fire. I said in the night in Cocorite, all you hear is rat-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, man testing the gun. This morning, it's like, somebody tell me, you know, when we say it today on this video, it's happening tomorrow in Trinidad. And I don't know if there is some kind of zungi, but it's regular. It's regular. It is talk here first and happen outside there. So we're going to talk some good stuff tonight. We will speak unity among the brethren and the sistren. But first, this morning, Hapasit. This morning, Western Main Road, the busiest thoroughfare for Keith Rowley's 1%, because he told the nation last week when Darumai called him an Oreo, he said, I will make no excuse that the greatest collection section of Syrians and Lebanese live in my constituency. This morning, one of them could have died. It's a luck of the draw. That is a small man take them 2 bullets to brain. I don't know if he make it. They say he was in critical condition. Brain matter was in the car. So it does sound like he could have survived that deep. It was a young man learning to drive and a driving instructor outside Bayside Towers. And to the people living in Bayside Towers, who I have been warning that it is a strip of pitch and 2 minimum wage security guards standing between you and 50,000 hungry souls in Cocorite. Water hole, hard in place. What exists, and I know the higher up the floor you go in Bayside Towers, the better the view you get of that hell yard. So all you see and all you know, but what you didn't know was bullets cross roads. And this morning, 3 bullets left Cocorite, inside Cocorite, crossed the eastbound highway into the westbound highway and shot 2 people in their head driving down the road. A young man learning how to drive and his instructor. The instructor got shot in his forehead, but they say he in stable condition. I do not know if that has changed. I know the young man who was learning to drive got 2. One went through his eyeball. It was a gruesome sight. And I had to say it tonight. The country not going to wake up until them 3 accidental bullets find something other than a little black boy. Because the right person this morning, if that was an X5 or a BMW 7, and if that was one of them big Mercedes-Benz that is fat ice cream, had collected them 3 bullets this morning. If the vehicle that had crashed into the old Penta compound, the old Ace Hardware compound across the road from Mohammed's Hardware, if the vehicle that had run up inside of there and crashed this morning from them 3 bullets was a Porsche Cayenne, I tell you, Trinidad different tonight. Tonight it would have been different. And that double standard, we're going to address tonight. Tonight we're going to deal with issues that going and put, we used to call that itching powder. They used to throw on people courage. They go put courage in plenty people clothes tonight. We're dealing with it tonight. You see, plenty people think that the People's National Movement is first and foremost a political party. And that's where a lot of people get fooled. Because if the People's National Movement was a real political organization and represented Black Trinidad and Tobago, really, you think 500,000 people could have been living across the road from the dump? You think so many of their supporters could have been living in Morva, Beetham, Laventille, and Sealots? You see, I tell you about Cocorite. Bayside Towers and Sabga buy up Polymer and all them companies and merge and making a super compound, no problem. But you cut off the route to the sea. And nobody has say boom. You cut off the route to the sea that them youths used to use to go and swim and to go and fish. Now it is bourgeoisie. It's there for them little black hen chicken from Cocorite again. So they have nowhere to go. They trap in a bowl. They trapped in a bowl, in a valley, in that hill. They trapped in there. Gunplay, gangsterism. Who is a baddest and a baddest? So you're training baddest in there. You who live in the high life, You ain't practicing cuff and kick to survive, you know. You ain't learning how to take 2x4 in your head and on your back. They are. And to our peril, we continue to live in this country segregated, separated, divided. I remember when, on a Sunday night, every creed and race used to find a tale in Globe Cinema. I remember that. Rich, poor, beggar, thief, high class, low class, Mercedes-Benz and B13, Globe Cinema. But now, we separate sheep from goat. Let the goat go Globe. Like for them, sheep go movie town. And if in your sheep, they have too much low-class sheep, they have VIP. To get away from them sheep. This Trinidad, you know. 1.4 million souls. We find economic apartheid and apply it without missing a beat, you know. Everything is a bling. But the science shows that if you separate your society, especially along issues like race, color, creed, and class, if you separate your society and you lose tolerance and you lose the ability to live in harmony, you will live in war. There's a saying, and we cliches, platitudes, proverbs survive through history because they matter, because they speak to a truth that is timeless. Noise. They speak to a truth that is timeless. There's an African saying, children who are not embraced by the village will burn it down just to feel warmed. We continue to labor on with the misconception, for all of our intelligence, as if money could buy brightness. We labor on with the misconception that poor people are stupid and rich people bright. And that is only we that have needs. But Maslow's hierarchy of needs documented to teach us the reality of the human condition, so that in our planning and our social engineering, we take into account race, color, creed, class, gender, religion, all divisions, no separation, seamless integration, tolerance, acceptance. That is how you're supposed to build a society, but not in the Royal Imperial Majestic Banana Republic of do what the hell you like land. Here, old thief become Mr. So-and-so. Foul thief become Miss So-and-so. All of a sudden, your girl edge, your girl end, piss down on everybody below you. That is we. Pissing down from a height is our national pastime. We want, more than anything else, they will tell you they have different things that they want in life, but most Trinidadians, what they want is to reach up high so they can lord it on the people below. Everybody running a race. They don't know the race that they're running with is their coffin. They don't know the race that they're running with is the seconds and the minutes and the hours of their life. They feel that the race they're running, I sit down in Assumption Yard under a tent for Tony Sapga's funeral, and for every platitude, every accolade that they pour down on him, still dead. In that box, fancy box. You could have sell that box and buy 4 houses in Cocorite. More, 10. Still dead. A woman who is dying of cancer posted on Facebook, I have a big house, massive car, clothes and handbags and shoes galore. None could save me. Death is at my door. When you get the call that your loved one was shot in a robbery or a stray bullet. When I had to go to Renew, the place where after all of my surgeries and my arm was healed, I had to go to a place called Renew for rehabilitation. A girl called Anna Salvatore brought back my arm. I met a young man, I can't remember his name, but when I met him, his hand was in his pocket. His right hand was in his pocket. And he shook my hand with his left hand. And I asked him, what are you here for? And he pulled his hand out of his pocket and he let it hang. Because he and some friends going to a nightclub in Chaguaramas, driving through Tucker Valley, a stray bullet came through the car, went through his shoulder and through his friend's chin, and severed his nerve. Severed it completely. Once a nerve is cut, it is almost impossible to reconnect or regenerate. Severed it completely up at the shoulder. And the nerve is the electrical intelligence of the body. Without the nerve, once the nerve is disconnected, whatever tissue it was feeding to, for all intents and purposes, dies. Because you cannot give it an instruction. Nerves is the mechanism by which you can tell your hand, do what you want your hand to do. So his entire arm is dead. And it's just a hanging appendage. 25 pounds of flesh. Muscle bone. But it's withered away now, it's like a stick. Because it's atrophied. He has no use for it. He doesn't exercise it. So I asked him, what are you going to do? He said he's learning to interact with the world with his left hand. And that he might have to amputate his right arm. He might have to amputate it because they can't bring life back to it. And he damages it, he rolls on it, he can't feel it, there's no nerve. And imagine that car full of happy people. You're out partying. Imagine that car for a minute. Full of all those happy people driving through Chaguaramas, liking themselves. Imagine that 1 minute after that bullet passed through the car. Imagine that situation when you have to realize what is your new condition. I told you all my story. I got in an accident midnight, October 10, 2008. A truck flew out of a side street, slammed into the Prado I was driving, and within hours I was in surgery to save my own right arm. That's how I ended up in that situation. So I know what it's like for life to change like that. Just like that. Just like that, the plaque that built up in the veins and the arteries, get just at that moment, the last piece to make the permanent block, and the blood to get to your heart, to exchange for oxygen, can't pass. And that blockage sends a nerve impulse of pain throughout your entire body. And the mechanism by which oxygen is exchanged and carbon dioxide is exchanged stops, and you can't breathe. And it dawns on you, this is a heart attack, and I am probably going to die. There are things that they tell you to say out loud if you think that you're having a stroke. Because a vein, aneurysm, stroke, just a slight bleed in your brain, and that's all it takes. There are people who you go to find them, next day they're normal and then they're dead. Because you don't know. But imagine if your loved one was driving down Western Main Road this morning. Imagine if that was your loved one this morning. Imagine that call to say, we're not sure how it happened, but so-and-so was shot in the commission of a crime, and he or she is dying. Imagine this country tonight if all of Facebook had a Porsche Cayenne instead of an Almira crash into that old Penta building. Imagine all of the ministers. Imagine the opposition leader. Imagine all of the priests and the Chamber of Commerce and Gregory Jackass Aboud from Doma. This is unacceptable. Violence, pervasive, society failing. But if it's a little black boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? I preach in this every night to people who may not be able to understand. Shirley Ramsey, clear your cache, reboot and start over. It is not on my end, it's on yours. But imagine you get that call. That somebody that matters to you got shot in the commission of a crime. And is now warded in hospital or died at the scene.
But then the part is the first one of the anthem. You see we so damn corrupt, that is the problem. But then them keep you ignore, so now you're working. And for your children's sake, man, you ain't joking. The future God bless them looking the school bad. Future night, future gun, future jail yard. Future pay for you, your wife or your mama. But before you give a brother, just remember, it's just another day in paradise. I tell you, look how this town dies. It's just another day in paradise. Oh, look how this town dies. Take your punch, and then you roll. That's the only way you get some control. Take your punch, fire back, and then you roll. Oh, the only way you get some control. Hey! Take it down. Long ago, every mother and father wanted the children to be doctor or lawyer. So now we fall up with doctor and lawyer. Knife in the hand or a wig on the head, sir. The new Greeks, the old leaders say, beat your box and every break away. But that was then, but now it's peace we creating. A funny thing though, the era's relating. Cause when a gorgon shoot another gorgon, the doctor job is to stitch up the organ. The lawyer job is to keep him out of jail. Be back on the street.
Just another day in paradise. Look how this tongue nice. We have a conversation. Somebody shared something on Facebook today and I read it and I thought, wow. You know, you read something, it's like a punch to the gut. When we adults think of children, there's a simple truth which we ignore. Childhood is not preparation for life. Childhood is life. A child isn't getting ready to live. A child is living. The child is constantly confronted with the nagging question, what are you going to be? Courageous would be the youngster who, looking the adult squarely in the face, would say, I'm not going to be anything. I already am. Tom Matto says, I seem to be out of it tonight. That's how it is. Just a different vibe every day. And dealing with all the things I'm dealing with. What I'm about to read to you, and I'm going to be sharing it later, but you're going to hear it first. You're going to hear it first. Kid Rowley and his meet me outside foolishness. You going to get at the Rudal? Kitos, meet me outside now. You're bad. I will slap that stupid out of you. You want to threaten people? You're the Prime Minister. You're a ghetto baddest. Choose better. Institutionalized pervasive corruption as we know it was born with the PNM and bred through the PNM and lives and dies on the PNM say-so. The UNC created their own overnight millionaires and 100 millionaires playing from the PNM playbook. But the corruption started with Eric Williams, who built on what the Queen's handmen were doing here. The criminally corrupt in Trinidad society built the PNM from the ground up and operated it to suit their purposes. The blackface puppets you see at the helm are put there to fool black people. But don't pretend for a minute there's a disconnect between the PNM and the institutionalized criminal corruption of TNT. No organization, office or department of state escapes it. No office holder is above it. Like cancer metastasized to the bone, the PNM created and operated corruption is much, much more than the technocrats and public servant operatives that gives you an ease or pass or signs off on your documents or gives you access or a skip or okays your contract or accepts your under-the-table payment for any and all of the above and more. But it includes well-known business owners from the country's elite referred to as the 1%. Banks, finance houses and insurance companies, almost all of the Chamber of Commerce and other business associations, members of law enforcement at all levels, criminally corrupt and deviant attorneys from all levels of the law fraternity, local and locally based international accounting firms, as well as individual accountants and just about any other facilitator, originator, or expediter of the sale, use, or theft of public assets, funds, or equity, and the laundering of those proceeds through larceny, trick, fraudulent conversion, fictional invoicing, fake contracts, cost overruns, subcontracting for hire, legal briefs for kickback, and any other means of corrupted, otherwise immoral, illegal, or unethical enrichment. All of it, and all of them together, is the business end of the PNM, and is, and has always been, the real reason it exists. Don't for 1 minute be fooled by Black People Party bullshit. There is no Syrian political party, and no Syrian lives like they do in Beetham and Silots. No Chinese people live in such conditions and they have no representative political body. No white party would tolerate that for their people. Not even the Indian-based UNC has any Indian communities as squalid as the die-hard PNM communities of Morva, Beetham, Laventille, Silots, Cocorite, Belmont, Gonzales, Caranage, La Puerta, Covey, Rich Plain, Bagatelle, Patna, River State, La Joqueta, Maloney, and others. Nowhere does any other race in this country treat the people they're supposed to represent this badly. Ask yourself why. The people in the name People's National Movement has nothing to do with representing black people, but in using them for votes or placing them in a corruption machine to facilitate criminal corruption of those who own and operate the PNM and to assist at election time in securing their interests. No other race would have consigned hundreds of thousands of their brothers and sisters to live and work in the nation's garbage dump. The PNM represent no one and has contempt for everyone. If you do not see this, then you may be a beneficiary of the P&M machine sucking the very life out of this country, or someone trapped by race politics, painted into a corner, believing themselves having nowhere else to go. Look around you. Look at this entire country. Look at everything that exists and everything that has taken place, and tell me if the $3 trillion rumored to have been spent over the last 56 years had anything to do with representing the people of this country. Healthcare is a mess, education is a failure, food production non-existent, public service, law enforcement, and the justice system all in various stages of free fall or pre-collapse. We are a globally recognized narcotics transshipment pipeline, yet do nothing, have done nothing to secure our porous borders, despite since knowing the publication of the Scott Drug Report in the 1980s that the drug trade was a serious issue. Everything broken in this country can be fixed, yet nothing is. Again, ask yourself why. The salvation of this nation, if one exists, requires a mass awakening to the contemptible reality of our history and of our existence. Waking up requires more than just seeing, but understanding and feeling that none of this is accidental and all of it is deliberate, to the point that you take it personally and feel the losses that you and your family suffered. Mourn those who died, living lives of utter desperation, while those in power ground them into dust.
Tell me what I'm fighting for. What is killing for? We don't need no more of that. Tell them wicked people. Fire go burn them. Fire go burn them. Oh Lord, I said this is the year for love. Fire go burn them. Fire go burn them. Still born when marathon. Another one just gone. By a beat your chest and smile. Say you's a madman. Another young boy fall. You sold your rest at night. Oh, you's a bad man. Bad man is a man who will keep a woman and protect the young ones by any means, Lord. You ain't no bad man, boy, nah. You ain't no bad man. A real bad man that makes those own decisions. You don't need anyone. The only need is God. You ain't no bad man, boy, nah. You ain't no bad man. So, sit down, rock back. Tell them I don't need no strap to defend my people. I'm wicked and evil, oh. So, sit down, rock back. Big man look for a walk. You're too damn evil. If they distress my people, then fire go burn them. Fire go burn them. Oh Lord, I said this is the year for love. Fire go burn them. Fire go burn them. Still born when marathon. Tell me what they're fighting for. They're killing for. We don't need no war. There's no need. So tell me what they're fighting for. They're killing for. We don't need no war. I said we don't want no more. I bad man don't go around raping women, influencing young ones to kill a boy. Nah. He ain't no bad man, boy. Nah. He ain't no bad man. A real bad man works so whatever he wants, and he don't need no gun. He full of joy. Nah. That is a bad man soldier. He ain't no bad man. So sit down, rock back. Tell them I don't need no strap to defend my people. I'm wicked and evil. Oh. So sit down, rock back. Big man look for a walk. You're too damn evil. If they distress my people, then fire go burn them. Fire go burn them. Oh Lord, I said this is the year for love. Fire go burn them. Fire go burn them. Still born when marathon. Tell me what they're fighting for. They're fighting for. They're killing for. We don't need no war. There's no need. So tell me what they're
Road was closed? How did the minister in a country of 1.4 million souls not know that the main road to the nation's parliament was being closed by his ministry? Just that question I want to ask. How? And why is he not yet fired? How? Because the PNM is rotten and corrupt to the core. And I see Rowley threaten Rudal Mudilal, meet me outside. And one of our PEP members, Sal's Jagisa Saladin, responded on the thread. Why didn't tell all them boy children you have that you didn't acknowledge to meet you outside? They would have liked that too. And but you could always tell a pepper they critically thinking and they're not accepting your bullshit. That is the psychological profile of a Progressive Empowerment Party member or supporter. Regardless of race, color, creed, or class, they stand firm, they stand strong. They have belly, backbone, and balls more than any other political organization. This is sheep being led to the slaughter. This is a political movement of critical thinkers, logical deducers, and an entire party who will stand up to you. And we were overdue for that in Trinidad and Tobago. Every day I find out about different, I guess they say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. But there are a lot of people who think that all they have to do is read what I write or read the policies of the Progressive Empowerment Party and they can pass themselves off as one of us. But it takes a little more than that. And to the seer man, the banana importer, brother man, oh God, do your own thing now. You know you're only in the politics trying to get contract from Ganga Singh to subcontract so you can make some money again. You know that's the only reason you're in the politics. You don't care about nobody. You're equal opportunity hater. You want to ride everybody back for money. Stop pretending now. And I have to distance myself from you all. Because anybody who talks like me and reads my words, people message me and say, hey, there's a pepper. And as I say, there's fake pepper. Like Herbert Volney. Herbert Volney, that political miscreant, that joke, that embarrassment about the bench and the parliament. This is Trinidad and Tobago. We manufacture shit snakes here. We specialize in that. That's our truth. And we have to own that. Before we can fix it, we have to know who we are, where we come from, before we know where we're going. This broadcast tonight is only on the B-Mobile broadcast. I could add it to the, I wonder if I could do it right now. Yeah? Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Tell me that you're hearing me. And that you're loving what you're hearing. Another day in paradise. Look how this tongue nice. Talking to an attorney tonight, a good guy, a political and a legal activist. And he is telling me that what the media has done to the PEP is criminal and can be prosecuted. And he would like to take up the matter. All of a sudden, people finding their heart and their soul and their love of country and they're stepping up. And he said to me, I want to handle that matter. He said, you can't have a political party as vibrant as your party and the media blocks you on the people's airwaves. So we're going to deal with that. And we're going to be addressing that this week coming here. And I know Anthony Defoe, head of PEP Media, and Janice Lemon Creaky, PRO, will be happy to hear that. And you all got it before they got it. I'm giving you all that information. And don't think for a minute, don't think for a second that they could browbeat or frighten us. Stuart Young, propagandist in chief for the PNM, had to say that the PNM knows it is facing the mother of all elections with the UNC and others. Who is others, Stuart? We, the 99%, we coming, brother. We are assembling ourselves. We are readying ourselves for that political battle. We are coming, Stuart Young. We are going to isolate you. We're going to pick you clean. All of your members are crossing the floor. That $400 that all you charge, Snake, for wetting hinds, that go burn you. It go burn you because we want Snake to come over on we side because Snake was damn right. Run them out of town. Liars, liars, and liars. Fitzgerald Hinds, as representative of Laventille East and Laventille West, was a shit snake on both sides of that divide. Nobody want to hear from you on your nonsense and your foolishness, Fitzgerald Hinds. And instead of eating humble pie and realizing that it is the PNM that consigned so many people to live off the proceeds of the nation's garbage, should have gone in there, should have recognized, but you can't because you're a political shit-on. You're a stunt artist. You're a stunt artist. You don't understand human nature. That wasn't personal. That was inside those people. You think any other race, UNC, Indian, anybody, could come and pay beat-up black people to chase PNM? The moment that became a reality, PNM should have gotten very afraid. When you get chased out of your die-hard community, trouble coming. The nation waking up. People of all colors are realizing that they are entitled to more. They are entitled to better. They're entitled to real representation. Say what you want about me. And they just hear all the talk, all they want to talk. But you know what getting sad? The talkers. When you turn the spotlight on them. Stuarty, what went on with you and Asha Javid in West Hills, brother? That your neighbors record? That Jack Warner say he have the recording? What it is all you do? What it is with PNM people and their personal relationships? What's going on? What? What's happening? Falling apart? Hey, Coleman Rowley don't even talk. What's going on? When the people in Beaton look at Rowley and his cabal, and they see Farris and Franklin Kahn and Stuart Young and Colm Imbert, you think they see themselves? But you want to come and tell them black this and black that? I is the blackest man in Trinidad. You're the bullshit artist. That's what you are. The biggest bullshit artist in Trinidad. That's what you are, Keith Rowley. You lied on Patrick Manning to get Patrick Manning's job. You lied on Kamala and her entire government to get their job. You fool black people twice. They have a saying in Trinidad, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I don't think you have a third play, bro. I don't think you have a third play. I think the nation know you. You're a double-tongued deceiver. You are the king of the infidels. You are. You could spoil hog food. And when your 1% handlers done with you and the politics over, you're going to be knocking on them Sinclair gates and Goodwood Park gates and ringing them Fairways doorbell. Them don't take Abid in the house just so, you know, brother. You have to be working for them.
I see hate. Mr. Speaker, I see bitterness. Mr. Speaker, I see acrimony. Mr. Speaker, I see animosity. And Mr. Speaker, I see a man completely out of control. Completely out of control, Mr. Speaker. That is what I see. And that problem is not a new problem to me, you know. I was aware of the tendency for the honorable to go out of control. Since 1987, I'll do your case. Everybody has a chance to do it. But not like my good friend. The minute you oppose my good friend, Mr. Speaker, the minute you oppose my good friend, he gets very, very angry. And if you oppose him strongly, Mr. Speaker, he becomes a raging bull.
Cash me outside.
raging bull and becomes a raging bull. He becomes a raging bull and strongly, Mr. Speaker, he becomes a raging bull. And that is what this government is not prepared to have. That is what it becomes a raging bull.
Your Prime Minister tell another member of Parliament, cash me outside. You know what I wish? I wish Rudal had come outside and break in your ass. I wish. You have no idea. How I wish the cameras follow the two of you. But you pick on Rudal. Because you know Rudal Sophie. Monkey know which tree to climb. Try that with me now. Try that with me, Kitos. I slap you sensible. You want to threaten people? Try it with me. Try it with me. Gloves off. We both of us, no lawsuit, no nothing. How it play. Bell a ring. You're the baddest. Let me go. Come now. And you're the baddest. But I wish Moonilal had said, okay, there we go. What you gonna do, kid? Because a bully is usually a coward. What you gonna do? If Moonilal had get up and walk outside, come. You bad? Come. We settle this. I wish Rudal had breaking your ass outside the Parliament for your foolishness, for your stunting behavior. You should have get licks like that for the whole country to see. That's all they're waiting to see, you know, because you're an empty vessel. You make a lot of noise, but you're substantially nothing. You are devoid of any substance. You ain't calling nobody Dave Lux. Even Gary would have stand up there and watch Rudal beat his ass. You want to call people out? Make sure you could back that shit up, you know, bro. Don't feel anybody afraid you're Mason Hall over here anymore, you know. Don't feel to be afraid you and your Guyanese buck. Monkey know which tree to climb. You catch Manning off guard.
Strongly, Mr. Speaker, he becomes a raging bull. And that is what this government is not prepared to have. That is what it was. He becomes a raging bull. He becomes a raging bull. He becomes a raging bull.
You should have go outside, Rudal. Rudal, you should have go outside. Rudal, you let down the whole side.
I see hate. Mr. Speaker, I see bitterness. Mr. Speaker, I see acrimony. Mr. Speaker, I see animosity. And Mr. Speaker, I see a man completely out of control.
He completely out of control. Since 1987, since Manning reassembled his PNM cult of personality, Manning is to blame. Because Manning went for Keith Rowley. For when you buy a dog for inside the house, you buy a pump. You buy Coleman bird for inside the house dog. That's what Coleman was. But Rowley was a yard dog. Rowley was a guard dog. Rowley was an attack dog. You can't take that dog out of that. That is all Rowley could ever be. Stink and dirty. No way you could bring him in polite company. The Speaker of the House didn't know that that was unparliamentary behavior and he was to put Rowley out immediately. Well, you miss me with your bullshit now, man. Playing, pretend that all is a real government. If there is anything more unparliamentary, it was Rowley's behavior today. And if the Speaker of the House couldn't pick up May's parliamentary procedure and turn to the member on parliamentary behavior, 4 weeks suspension. Immediately. That was your job. That was the Speaker of the, as the Speaker of the House. You had one job. You had one job. But a vex Moonilal, let you get away with that. Moonilal, you should have beat his ass outside. Catch me outside. You're a gangster. Watch where you become now, boy. Look at what the children of this country have to look up to and deal with.
I went to the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago in August 2003.
You lie.
As a Minister of Government in Trinidad and Tobago, a PNM Minister, and
you lie.
told him that there was big rigging taking place in Udicox.
Everybody say a lie. Motley say a lie. Imbert say a lie. Who else was there? And Conrad Enel say a lie. Gary Hunt say a lie. Marley McDonald say a lie. All your partners in crime today say a lie. You lie.
What the Commission of Inquiry is looking at is 10 times worse than what happened with the Airport. And it's even more brazen.
I'll tell you why I despise that son of a bitch, that double-tongued deceiver. Because twice, once with this, Colahart and Manning, once with this, and he told the nation he was bringing down his own government. But you see, PNM supporters so foolish that you could wind them up. You see, they don't have nothing, and they don't have nobody. If black people in Trinidad and Tobago had real leaders, the PNM couldn't get away with that. But for some reason, every time a black man gets himself in a position of power, look at Ansel Roger. Ansel Roger making asses of the OWTU workers. He's going to tire them out on needless marches. File a freaking injunction in the court. You have the money. You have millions of dollars of dues. Get a lawyer. File an injunction. Stop the government's action. Demand an independent assessor based solely on the fact that Keith Rowley and Wilfred Espinay have lied. None of their words have added up. Add Franklin Can to the mix and it's an unholy mess. A disaster. Any court would say, we really do need an independent assessment. But Roger is an example of every time. Black people in this country have no real leaders. None. They left to their own devices. I had told Nylon Hippolyte, marginalize Laventille. Vote UNC. You could imagine if Laventille had vote UNC. But the whole government machinery would have rebuilt Laventille from the ground up. It can't get worse. But I don't know how to get Laventille people to understand that it is not possible for Laventille to get worse representation. This government have water cannon for all you. March now. Come and see if all you can get away under this PNM, all you get away with the UNC. This is your government. Come out on the beat now. See if they tear gas all their ass. Because Newsday said they can get away with anything. It's Black People Party. The country that we want, the country that we need, the country that we deserve cannot exist with a shit snake like that as your leader. Be honest. Is there anywhere you think you could take Keith Rowley and be proud of him? Every time he speaks, unscripted, he embarrasses himself, his family, his party, his government, his country, and everybody who hears. Waste of time. Stuart Young, waste of time. Waste of time. Stunt artist. Colm Imbert, waste of time. Colm Field, he on the forever. And life draining from the man, you know, when you watch his face, it looks like crepe paper. Life literally sucking itself out of him, like life is trying to escape Colm. And he behaving like he will live forever. These people don't understand mortality. They don't. They don't understand that life is for a time. And the opportunities that you get, use it to the best interest of everybody. If you use it to serve only yourself, life will not be kind. Life will not be kind. Ask Hafiz Karamat. Hafiz Karamat was rotten before he died. When they used to bring Hafiz Karamat to court, just before he expired and gave up this demon that was inside of him, you used to have to go far from Hafiz. He was smelling like a rotten corpse. Life is a funny, funny thing. We may not understand it. That's why we have 3,000 religions. We don't really know what's going on. We could hope for the best. But if there's anything that we should all agree on, is that all of us deserve the same opportunity. Khalil Gibran said in The Prophet, rip off your garment, but leave it in no other man's path. We are supposed to live and let live. That was always supposed to be the way we live together. But we don't live so in Trinidad and Tobago. In Trinidad and Tobago is a greedy gangster man paradise. In Trinidad and Tobago, take all. 100 cookies on the table, take 99. Leave one for the next 99 people to share. Because that's all you know. That's all you know. And that is why the nation vomited out the 1%. When Peter George and Mario Sabga Aboud made a mockery of what they got away with. This is a country where you could call yourself a successful businessman, and based on how much money you've amassed, people don't ask you how you get it. There are furniture businesses in this country built on Dolce, the cocaine empire. And they know I know. But I am sure the other people in the other political parties, I am sure Rowley and Kamala knows too. There are criminals in this country dressing up in suit. Berkey Burke was the first one to reach in President's house, you know. Don't fool yourself. Don't tell yourself for a minute that Berkey Burke was the first gangster that reached inside President's house. You know. Not at all. But we've allowed ourselves to lead ourselves astray. Somebody said the other day, and I can't get it out of my head, that regardless and despite all of this, all of these governments we had, none of them seized power. They were all voted in by people. We did this. $3 trillion. We did this. How is it possible that the average person, B-Mobile says, the statistics say that there are 1.5 smartphones in operation, in circulation in Trinidad and Tobago for every citizen. So everybody has a smartphone and a data plan. Do you know that the average iPhone, Samsung, Huawei, however you pronounce it, the average smartphone has more computing power than the entire world had combined just 40 years ago? Just 40 years ago. A kilobyte of material was an entire reel of tape. A meg, a gig, 4 buildings. 4 buildings, big like that hill. We have the largest library ever assembled in history. The palm of our hands. And we don't use it to educate ourselves. Forget what the school doing here. When people look at me and they tell me, wow boy, how do you know all the things you know? I read. That's how I know. But we don't like that. We lazy. They tell we, when it pours, you rain. So White Oak like that, and Black Label like that, and Green Bottle like that, and Double Dog, and all that bullshit. Friday night, all you're outside, poisoning your liver and your kidney with all the money you work for whole week, trying to impress people who don't give a shit about you. Black Bottle, you know me? Tennessee, jackassery. We spend more money on alcohol in this country than probably the whole of the Caribbean combined. And that is why the entire Caribbean is leaving us behind. The entire Caribbean. Even Grenada. We used to wash them out on Grenada. We used to wash them out on Guyana. Them gone. Them gone. We in a small group now. Us, Haiti, Somalia, Rwanda. That is where we playing. Yesterday, the president of South Korea traveled to North Korea. The Korean War is over. The Korean War is over. Al-Qaeda and ISIS done. Only some jackass Trinidadians who can't find gainful employment running around screaming all kind of bullshit looking to get themselves shoot and kill and jail. But all that done, Donald Trump is the president. And he may be a jackass, but he's the right jackass for all them bad boys. Because since Trump, Al-Qaeda gone, ISIS gone, and Kim Jong, whatever the ass his name is, boiled down like a butter badgie Christmas morning. All the baddest, quiet like church mice. Because they know of all the presidents the United States of America has ever had, this one itching to bomb people. Nobody in the world knew that they had a bomb called the mother of all bombs. Trump dropped that. That is the last bomb before nuclear. He sent a message clear. He told the king of Saudi Arabia, I will remove Saudi Arabia from the map. Mecca and Medina gone. The king of Saudi Arabia removed all funding from Al-Qaeda and ISIS and all that bullshit done. And he went back to liberal. All the conservative and the hardline nonsense done. You hear them? This would have been the time for there to be a Khomeini. Iran would have disappeared. This jackass, Donald Trump, Arafat, Castro, I'll never forget the day, 9/11. That day, by the time people realized that it was possibly a terrorist attack on the United States of America, all the usual suspects panicked. Fidel Castro went to give blood. Yasser Arafat too. Sinn Féin, the Irish Republican Army, them sit down that day, Google it, you will see, and sign a peace accord that they was trying to get them to sign for 30 years. They signed it that day. Everybody was quick to say, hey, we had no part to play in that. Because everybody knows the might of the United States military complex. America spends more on arms and ammunition in a week than it would take to feed all the poor people in the world for a year. How do they spend? And yes, Shari, they're coming for Venezuela. The sabers are rattling right now. And if Maduro take $1 from that $5 billion, because the Chinese know that Maduro and his friends and his courts Go in and thief that money, like what the PNM go in and do with the money for Labre. That is not for Trinidad. That is, I will thief that. Manning and them could tell you that Napa Sapa Tapa didn't really cost 1.5 billion. Manning and his financiers could tell you Taruba Stadium didn't really cost 1.2 billion, but Kamla, no. Kuva Hospital didn't cost $1 billion either. You've been played. You've been played. But Maduro, the message is clear. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because the Americans claim the Western world. And China and Russia could fight for the rest. But this jackass, this Chinese premier playing just the tip. Just the tip. Just let me in with the tip. You loan him to colonize. This jackass, World War III will start. He had no problem with that. He had absolutely no problem with that. And I tell you again, that's the right jackass for now. Obama couldn't deal with China. Bill Clinton couldn't deal with China. Bill Clinton was an exceptional stunt artist. He knew how to pose for the camera. Donald Trump cannot. Donald Trump is a goon. He is a thug. Donald Trump is reprehensible. Unlike Winston Churchill, who was all of that and more. Winston Churchill was a joke in British politics. Winston Churchill was a laughing stock. They used to ridicule him. Every time Winston Churchill stood up to talk, the rest of the parliament would laugh at him. The media would publish effigies and memes, well, whatever they had for memes in those days, and make a mockery of Churchill. And when there was time for war, Churchill was the right jackass for that. He was the right jackass for that. See, Trump, hate the man, his character, worse than JFK. Well, they thought JFK was a nice guy. JFK was Trump before social media, smartphones and camera, and before 24-hour news cycle. JFK was a sadist. Trump hate the man, despise his character, but secretly be very happy that that cat is the president of the United States. Because all of them who think they're bad, they're gonna find out. You see all the bullshit Rowley was doing with Venezuela? We have government to stand up quick and say, hey, we don't claim he and none of his bullshit. We happy he gone. I wish the Americans come and take them. Take them for trying to circumvent the executive order that put sanctions on Venezuela. Punish them. Bring them, take them to justice. You're playing with a madman to make friends with another madman. Enough of US politics. Trinidad needs help. Denise, this Saturday, we at 19 Stanmore Avenue again. And we're raising funds to pay for this party, that building this movement, that does this live video every single night. And we are here building the most viable political vehicle this country has ever had. And it needs you. It needs your time, your vote, your money, your help, your assistance. It needs everything you bring to the table. We have a husband and wife team as caretakers in Faizabad. And every day, I think his last name is Mohammed, every day that boy and his wife impresses me more. And they're going to go places. We have shadow MPs. I can't wait for that to launch. Shadow MPs, we're building out the structure right now. This is not a fly-by-night or joke political party. Everywhere there is a member of parliament, there will be a progressive empowerment party, either a shadow MP or a constituency caretaker, accounting to the people. We will raise your issues. We will bring to the fore all that matters to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. All. We've done it for 20 months now. We've changed the national conversation. We've made the narrative about plans, policies, just before the PEP launch. I check it. Just before the PEP. You know what they're arguing about? You know what Panarat and Rowley was arguing about in the parliament? Rotigate. Only remember that? Only remember Panarat and Rowley arguing about Rowley said Kamala spent $250,000 on roti. And Panarat bring the bills to show what was Dalpuri and what was Parata. Only remember that bullshit that was passing for governance and national conversation. The Progressive Empowerment Party was formed and telling them this. To every media house in this country, and time longer than time, and night is run till day catch up with it. You are abusing your constitutional privilege and abusing ours. You are making a mockery of the freedom of the press and freedom of political association. It is an affront to the Constitution what you are doing. The Telecommunications Authority, led by a fellow named Prince, are out and out Balizé juice drinking PNM. All of them. We will serve them, we will write them, and then we will seek judicial review. All of that takes money. All of that takes money. All of that requires assistance, financial and otherwise. Yes, there are lawyers who work for us and benefit us and help us. But we need, all these things have costs. All these things have costs. Felicia Holder, are you on the video tonight? Because you're going to have to come and talk to the people. Or should I invite Shari Wilson? Shari, do you want to come and talk to the people live on the video? Chalana Birchwood. Hey, Chalana Tobago people is sweet people. It is just we seem to be getting the dregs. We seem to be getting the dregs on this side. The country that we want, the country that we need is on the other side of our vote. And I wanted to say today, I understand the new people who come to see this video because they hear about this guy who's been talking on the Shari Wilson saying no. But there are some people, Felicia here, there are some people who watch this video every night, and I don't know how. And I don't know how you'll tolerate me. But anyway, I'm inviting Felicia Holder to join us on the video, chairman of the Progressive Empowerment Party, to bring us up to speed with what is going on with Saturday. So let's see if we get that hook up, that link up. Technology is an amazing thing. It's advancing by leaps and bounds. I could add somebody to a live video that I am doing and have them connect with me from anywhere in the world, and then everywhere else in the world having access to it. Amazing. Technology is absolutely amazing. Nicole Huggins, good night, darling. You are absent, and we are noting your absence. Hope to see you soon. Saturday. Nicole, we need your barbecue shift. Felicia, I don't know what's going on. Private message me and let me know what's going on. Yeah? What's going on? You're having network connectivity problems? Let's try again. Something just happened to my mic, not my mic. Shari, that is the best time to come and talk to the people. When you're in your pajamas and you have on your face cream. Trying to get Felicia, but apparently we're having some difficulty. Those of you who do not know, this Saturday we have our annual barbecue and All Fours line. It's be a line and a session. It starts at 10 in the morning and it goes till 4 in the evening. And we're there and we eat good El Pecos barbecue, halal chicken, real nice stuff, no MSG. And if you want to drink your beers or you want to bring your bottle of scotch and whatever, because we can't sell alcohol, but you can bring what you're drinking, walk with your cooler. And if you share it, I feel I might be bringing a single malt. What do you say? Shari, you're bringing Alex? If Alex comes in, I will bring the bottle of single malt for sure. Eh? Are you doing the music marathon to raise funds? Lisa, that is a good idea. And we may very well have to do that. But right now, this Saturday, barbecue is all we're really interested in addressing. And all of you who have not yet bought your tickets, now would be a good time to do it. And if you could sell tickets, even better. Come on board. Felicia is telling me, sorry, what's going on, Felicia? We have no you having connectivity problem. There she is. Good evening, Felicia.
No, I am not, but you should give me a heads up when you want to call me. You know, I do other things. These days I have you on as casted to my TV and as you watching you while I doing other things. So
well, I want to tell you that everybody who watching from now on who's a member of the management team of the party have on clothes at this time because you can be summoned on short notice. Tell them about the barbecue.
I didn't say that though. I did not say that.
Tell them about the barbecue.
What did I not say? Oh, I have to add in this yesterday. Yes, so who they calling us talking there? We gonna have the new merchandise on Saturday. The new Miss Me With That Bullshit t-shirt. I'm actually trying to get some baby tees for the girls who want to be stylish. Hoping to get mine so I could wear it Saturday so everybody could see how cute it looks. And I think the girls and they would rock that really nice. New cups, new polos. Barbecue on Saturday. We are almost sold out. Very close to hitting our targets. We aimed for 1,000 barbecues.
We're having some difficulty.
Would have sent
frozen.
And donated
frozen. Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on. I got to have to mute my notifications. Yeah. For everybody who would have donated from overseas, we even had some local donors this year. It's the first time we had so many people locally donating to feed the homeless. I'm really glad that that movement kind of caught on and spread across Trinidad and Tobago because I have to say the first time I've ever done anything like that was with the Progressive Empowerment Party, and it's really, really, really heartwarming to just see how thankful and grateful and just knowing that, you know, amongst all the days that these people are not getting a meal, that this one day we can bring some happiness and a full belly to these people in downtown.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely.
So if you have not yet gotten your tickets, please do not stick. We are almost complete in terms of selling out the tickets. I encourage you, buy one, buy two, sponsor. It's Saturday. If you're working in your office, you want to sponsor some barbecues for your office, we will deliver. Yes, we are delivering to Port of Spain, Chaguanas, and environs. So just let us know so we can arrange to have the barbecue delivered to you all, because we want to make sure everybody gets this delicious El Pecos barbecue as well as support for the party. Every time I get a notification, the video goes on pause. Apologize.
No problem.
Yeah.
As your Uber?
That is the very loud cars in my neighborhood, yeah.
Right. So we have all the volunteers we need for Saturday. Do we need more volunteers?
We could always use more volunteers because you know how things happen on the day. Somebody call, their child sick, they stuck in traffic. As many volunteers as we can get, we need. Yeah, we need
1,000 lunches, and we have to distribute lunches. So we need.
I hope you know you will be putting on your hat and apron and serving barbecue again this year.
Absolutely, don't think about that. But what I want to say again is, people telling me that last night you kind of threw down the gauntlet where All Fours is concerned. I want to ask you, you can play All Fours?
Yes, I can, and I already got my partner. Her name is Nastasia. It's actually Nicole's daughter. She agreed, and Friday we are having a practice session. I am that serious about cutting your ass.
We are practicing. I'm bringing Dave Lux. That's my partner. We're gonna master.
Dave, just prepare to lose because I will cut both of all your ass come Saturday.
Listen, my only concern is if pretty girls end up playing against us, Dave might sell me out. He's a fella like that. You can't trust him. You can't trust him.
Nah, you know Dave have your back. I think if it's one thing, Dave have your back. So on Friday, on Saturday.
Sterling Lee, DJ Chinese Times is the DJ, brother.
Sterling has not yet responded, so we might have DJ Private Ryan on repeat or DJ Anthony DeFu, one of the two. Actually, we might have DJ Philip because from what... well, yeah, I was about to say that from what we get on the live videos, we know you could spin. So come Saturday, you better show us your skills live. And
yeah. But now somebody called Sterling on the phone because Sterling wanted to do this. You know, that's his flick. That is his flick.
We tried him.
Dave Lux just say he's selling me out like hot hops. You really?
Oh, Philip, I want to make a plug. I want to make a plug though. On Saturday, we need to get things like warmers and aprons and stuff. I mean, these are things that we will purchase as a party. But if anybody has those things in stock, like you have a catering company and you have warmers and you're willing to lend it to us rather than we go and purchase our own, that would be much appreciated. Of course, you know, as much as we could keep down our costs and use the profits towards advancing the party, would be really appreciated. So that's just my little plug.
We need to borrow what? Serving trays? Those things, we don't get those things. We need tongs and serving spoons and all those things?
No, we got the serving stuff, but we need the warmers and the, what is that thing that keeps it hot? I can't remember the name. The little circle thing underneath that the fire thingy.
Well, I guess we can buy those if somebody could sponsor that.
No, we'll buy those, but the warmers, if we could get like the warmers loaned to us, that would be much, much appreciated. Or the caterers in-house, Lorena, Anil.
Andrew John offering to be the DJ, but Andrew is a fella, the more he drinks, is the less coherent he gets, and I worry that the music could take a turn.
Andrew, listen, you bring the beers and you and I will lime. You don't worry about the music. The music will be handled. And actually, no, I want you to stay sober because I need you to be a driver for me that day. Oh yeah, Philip, are you bringing the you're bringing the whiskey, the scotch?
I bring in one bottle of scotch, yeah. But that's for me and Sean soon, and I ain't gonna christen. But I think that Sterling ears was ringing.
Sterling, we needed to play this Saturday.
DJ Chinese Times coming out every time, man, boy, watch out. Hey, people asking about these cups. You have cups on sale Saturday?
We are going to have cups, and surprise, I don't want to burst the surprise because, I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but we may have some brand new merchandise that you never saw before. Hint, hint. Mason jars, but you know, I don't want to break again. I already was surprised, but
oh, very cool. I need to get a Miss Me with that bullshit t-shirt to wear on the live video tomorrow. Where's Satish? Wait, tomorrow is Frontline.
Satish didn't get you the one for tonight?
Tomorrow is a special Frontline with Richard Blaze talking national security, and you don't want to miss that. So I don't know if I will be doing a video tomorrow, but make sure that Janice and Richard plug the barbecue tomorrow. If not, we gotta come on after 9. But yeah, so don't miss that Frontline tomorrow. But I need to get one, if not for tomorrow, for the Friday night line. Yeah?
All right, I'll talk to him. And I want to get my baby tee to wear Saturday. If I don't get it, then I'll be bummed. But
Shari Wilson asking for Drake and things. Sterling, you have that? Sterling, they said the last time we play old people music, boy.
Yes, Sterling, we want some nice, young, hip music this time. A Ralph Brookout session kind of music. This is a young executive you have here. No, the only old people is Philip.
Oh my God, look at this. Bacchanal. Bacchanal. All right, so everything in a gear. Everything in a gear. If they want to get tickets, right now, tickets still available.
Yes,
Andrea, bring the vodka, you drink the vodka, you get me DJ drunk. Don't bring that thing. Let me hear.
Yes, you can still get tickets. 347-4737. Office is open 12 to 3 every day this week. Sterling, you're playing Saturday, right? Lovely. Come for 9 o'clock.
Sterling say yes. Sterling say yes.
Yeah. What else did I not see?
Jenny C. Paul Guyadine still have in Central?
Danny still has in Central, yes. We still have in Central. We still have in South. And people, don't forget, we are also doing delivery. So if you need delivery, just let us know.
I think we got a little thing. We missed the last 2 words you said.
Oh, I was saying that we have delivery, and don't forget, it's no extra cost. Just let us know in advance, and we will do that for you. Anything above 10 tickets.
I don't come back and get my barbecue home.
This is you trying to cop out of getting your ass cut come Saturday. I know that's what you're trying to do.
Sterling telling Shari to walk with her own Drake. Listen, the live getting pressure. So thanks a lot, Felicia. Anything else you want to add before we go?
No, but don't forget I cannot be on tomorrow. So you'll bring on Shari or Satish or one of there because I have my I have that event tomorrow that I have to do.
Okay, but Janice and Blaze, they on at 8 o'clock national security, right? So if we do that live, it'll be 9 o'clock. It'll be after 9. So I will find somebody else to bring on. Maybe I'll bring on Cara Jean. I know she's desperate to make her debut on the live, you know. I see she's watching here. So send her a private message and tell her we want to bring her on to talk to the people. Anyway, nice chat.
I can already respond for Carla.
You can respond for Carla?
Yes, and I'm sure she's going to tell you hell no. So don't disturb the lady on her relaxing time.
All right. Good evening. We'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Yeah, so Carla, you're laughing. Come on the live. Listen, Peppers, real nice people. Come and be a part of the live on Saturday. It's be a good session and you will have a time. It's been difficult to plan this inside of all the politics. So when we get the opportunity, we have to make it happen. So be a part of this exciting event Saturday. We're there from 10 in the morning. El Peco's barbecue. I bring in the drinks. Anybody else who drink it and they want to contribute a bottle to the table, bring a bottle. We will have chasers and we live in. We're not selling no drinks. All the drinks free. Bring a bottle and contribute to the bar. Let me call Carla on and see if she did truth, but last night she was shy. Let's see if she will take the call tonight. Carla Jean is one of our advisors on the advisory council. She deals with our medical issues and other stuff, but she's also the coordinator of all of our overseas teams and our overseas chapters. And the guests declined the live video invitation. Carla, you keep breaking my heart, darling. I want to tell you that. I mean, it's time to wrap the video up, but who else outside here? Look, Anthony Senanan. Anthony, you have one clothes? If you have one clothes, come on board, talk to us now, man. Tell us what's going on in Canada. The Canada Peppers. The Canada Peppers have been doing yeoman service for this party. And we really appreciate all the work that the Canadian Peppers, Anthony and Joan Senanan and the rest of their team have done. Yeah. So, I mean, still I'm walking with one bottle of scotch. Everybody that bring their own. We can end up with a nice little session. Yeah. So Wilfred asked me how do I go about paying online for 10 boxes and securing its pickup. Wilfred, I don't know if you're hearing me on the live, but if you are, please reach out to Felicia or Satish directly and they will sort that out for you. Yeah? So, no, without further ado, of our Canadian peppers, and he just said the nation needs a dose of reality, and I can't disagree with him. We need to wake up to what is our condition and pay attention. Yeah? Anthony Mirage, look at you. We have seen you in a long time. I hope you're coming Saturday to help with the barbecue. Yeah? The next one is Canadians on the trip. Jesse around Paul.
If for 30 years you voting them in, and it's only tears
As soon as they win, they give you big words that enslave your soul.
promising you roads and giving potholes.
Name a street, name a road in Trinidad and Tobago, and don't name one that they paved yesterday. Name a smooth, functional road in Trinidad and Tobago. It is an embarrassment.
If they are the reason why the economy goes sprout, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the passing laws that them alone can flout, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is the building eyesores, east, west, north, and south, that's where you vote them in. Vote them out. Register and vote them out. Totally vote them out. State no finger and vote them out. Rescue the country. Vote them out.
If you were reading Alice in Wonderland and came to a line that says, the judge adjourned the matter in court because of a lack of paper, you would have laughed out loud. But that happened in Trinidad today. And I had to say, this is not a real country. This is a parody.
Vote them out with tempo. They happy in vain. Let's put our country together again. Vote them out with calypso and joyous refrain. Let's put our country together again. If their policy is a fallacy, bureaucracy.
John Perkins, the author of Economic Hitmen, posted on Facebook today, modern elites, one of the more predatory elites in history, don't ignore social problems. Instead, they offer a light facsimile of change, change that preserves their capital priorities. Meanwhile, the deepest problems that require fundamental change are left to metastasize. Does that ring a bell? Does that sound familiar to you?
A catastrophe. If they cannot cope and you still score, then your only hope is for them to hope. If it is fabrication, these statements that they spout, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. If it is a frustration, does make you want to shout, when you're voting, vote them out. Vote them out. Before they misuse out, keep on stand out and take stock. If it's you who vote them in, vote them out.
Clean up your mess.
Register and vote them out. All of them, vote them out. Take your finger and vote them out. Them on the system, vote them out. Put them out in Scarborough and in Port of Spain. Let's put our country together again. Put them out in Camuto and in Larope. Let's put our country together again.
Petrotrin owns 1.1 million acres of land, 22% onshore and 78% offshore, 1,363 miles of pipeline, and over 9,000 drilled wells. That is what the 1% do. And our oil book of it. Oil is at $82 today.
People must come first, citizens by rights. None of the hours, yellow, black, or white. Whose pleasure applause, free movement and speech. A ground that grows, and one law for each. If it is that injustice is what they always show, when you're voting, vote them out. If it is the avarice, is all they seem to know. When you're voting, vote them out. If it is the politics, it's just a funny show. When elections day come, all bandits must go. Register and vote them out. If they don't see, stay no finger and show them no mercy. Put them out with total scorn and utter disdain. Let's put our country together again. Put them out of power, dominate the reign. Let's put our country together again.
PEP. That's our hotline. peptrinbago@gmail.com. That's our primary email address. peptt.com. That's our website. Pep app, PEP, APP. That exists as a free app download on all of the app stores. It's available to you free of charge. The Progressive Empowerment Party is the most credible, ready, and organized political movement in this country. Right now, the best and most viable alternative to government, with the strongest plans, policies, and ideas. Real people's champions at the helm, no fake profiles, and far-flung stone pelters. This is our call, Trinidad and Tobago. Rescue the country. The nation that we always knew we always needed is on the other side of what you support. Ask yourself, if the PNM and the UNC had a plan, a clue, an idea, or an interest in fixing Trinidad and Tobago, wouldn't they have done it already? The answer to that is obvious. If Nanny, Granny, Tanty had voted one way, forget that. They didn't have no other choices. Common sense dictates that until better could be done, let the worst continue. Better could be done now. The Progressive Empowerment Party exists. This Saturday, see you at 19 Stanmore Avenue. Until tomorrow, stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.